Oh man, gang, welcome back to Pleasure Bound. How you
Whoop whoop.
doing?
I'm so good.
You
I
good?
miss you. Yeah,
I miss you too. It's been a while.
I know. Yeah, life
Yep.
be life and
Fucking A. All consumed in smoke and God knows what else wherever you are in the world. But
yeah.
yeah, it's an interesting time. We were talking about this. It's such a weird time to be alive. I think every person who's ever lived has said that.
What a wild time to be alive.
There's always some weird shit happening, you know? Like, no matter what era you're in, there's always some fucking weird shit happening. What are we gonna do in the weird?
Yeah.
So, I don't think we've ever talked about this. Came up. We were like, what are we gonna talk about today?
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever talked about losing our quaginity. Is that too far of a reach?
Oh my god, I love it. Yes,
Let's
yes,
go with
yes.
that. And what it was like having sex for the first time post injury. I don't think we've ever
Mm,
taken a deep dive into that whole experience, which I think is quite an interesting one
yeah.
that I would be willing to share with the world
I love this.
at
Yeah.
this juncture. Yeah, what do you think about
Okay.
that? Are you down?
I'm about it. Yes. I've been I've been gunning for a firsts and worsts conversation for a while.
First and worse. How long? But did you? How long were you celibate for after your injury?
So it was about 3.5 years.
Were
Um,
you single when you got injured?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've literally had, I would say, three somewhat serious boyfriends prior to my accident. I was 21 at the time of my
Oh
accident.
yeah. Okay.
Um, and, but like, I mean, the first one, it was like my first love, and I was super all about him. But then
Mhm.
I, trigger, was I was raped within like 6 months of us dating, and so that was shortly skewed and ended.
Wait, by someone else?
Someone else, yeah, was at a
Got
party that
it.
we were supposed to go to together, but he was sick and drinking and kids. I don't know. We can dive into that into another episode, but
Yeah, I think there's a Me Too moment right there.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that tends to happen, unfortunately, in this fucked up culture when there's alcohol involved. A lot of the time, boys seem to think that they can just have their way with you.
you
It happens
know,
all the time. Like, the statistics are just insane with that.
every woman that I know has endured some version of assault, I would say.
Yeah.
And I saw something the other day that this it was a male making this video, but he was talking about sex very openly, and he was sharing his perspective on how open communication about sex and all of the innuendos could lead to a more safe sexual environment for young kids exploring and experimenting. And I have believed that for a very long time. Like, I think if sex was more of a conversation growing up, like, we wouldn't have to go into shadows or like carry shame in certain areas. And
For sure.
I think a lot could be avoided. But
Agreed.
yeah, I did not mean to like side quest that, but
You're
I
good,
wasn't
dude.
very seasoned as far as like relationships. I was very sexually active, but because of the way that my accident happened, I would say that sex was mainly a way for me to fill a void. And then post paralysis, there was this desire to figure out this body and learn her, and also like still experience pleasure and kind of ride the lines of what's still possible, you know?
I do know.
Yeah, I know you know. So,
But there's that like 3.5 years that you had. It was 5 for me, which is fucking insane. That's half a decade.
crazy.
For someone
Yeah.
who's like sexually active and loves their sex life and is like having a grand old time and loving their body and very embodied. I think for anyone that's a long time. But for someone like that, it's like just way too long.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm curious
Yeah.
about. Like, what was, you have this, okay, yeah, I want to, this moment or this like gradual, okay, like shifting of like, I need to understand this body. I want to understand this body. I want to enjoy this body and have fun and feel pleasure. But there's such a like long period of grief, tenderness, fear before you get fully to that point. Like what was that like for you? Why
So
was it 3.5 years?
I had zero desire. I've spoken to this in past episodes, but I abused my body and I abandoned my body in sexual acts. And so I was in no hurry to get back to those experiences. I was also still like navigating trauma. My dad was my main
like
caregiver.
let's like quick say like you also were abused. So like
Yeah, I mean, I have
there's that.
Yeah. And like I think that this is important because it's been a huge thing that I've had to navigate. I fell asleep and woke up to him having sex with me.
Yep.
So
Same thing happened to me.
yeah. So now, like, I mean, I have to cath in the middle of the night. There have been times that I've done bowel program in bed and someone has had to physically stick a finger up my butt to help me have a bowel movement. And all of these situations that today represent a way for me to care for my body bring up this story of trauma and violation. And still, like, I wouldn't want someone to stick a catheter in me. Like, that's not a desire I've ever had, but it's a bodily function that I need right now. So, and then my dad, a male, like opposite sex, was my main caregiver in those first 3 years. And so that, like, I was so absent of any sexual, like, there were times that, like, I would finally be alone and I'd be like, damn, like, I miss, like, masturbating. I miss, like, having a relationship with my body. But it would be so short lived, any of those thoughts, because I was so desexualized and not in a supportive environment to feel that. And then I switched where I was going to therapy. I started going to new therapy place, PT, OT, and I fell into this circle of paralyzed women. And I was invited to a pure romance party of all shapes, sizes, abilities, and like it was earth shattering. It was the first experience that I had of like not only these independent women who had birthed children in chairs and lived alone for decades, and like they were the proof that life beyond what I had told was possible, had been told what was possible as a quadriplegic, still existed. And like we were passing around vibrators and warming lubes and having these conversations of like, oh, well, like just because so one couldn't feel penetration, but like you put a vibrating stimulation or a warming lube on an area of her sensation and she would explode and like launch out. And so like it was just this insanely expansive experience to me. And at that time, my girlfriends were like, this was, I mean, online dating had been a thing for a while, but like they were like, girl, if you don't get on there, like, we're making you a profile. Like, it's time for you to get back out there. Like, you're so worthy. And I still did not see it at that time. But I was like, okay, let's just like see what this looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And so I hopped on, created a profile, and very shortly after, someone who I had went to high school with reached out to me. And I went to 3 different high schools. It was actually the first high school that I went to and that I left because of the rape. Um, and we hung in like similar circles, but like I didn't really remember him or know him, but he remembered me, which created this form of like safety and familiarity. Um, and I think back to it and like my nurse, my nurse from that first date is still my nurse today. And she was so scared because I was comfortable going to his house because I knew like him and his people in a roundabout way.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to bring a big ass ramp because he had a bunch of steps in the front of his house.
Like the
And
8-footer folding ramp where it's just like so
yes, girl.
cumbersome.
I know, it's like
I have
clanging all the
arrived.
way. Let me show you how I make an entrance.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
and
great.
so he was the sweetest. We hung out and we're listening to music and talking about food and all the things, but like I look back and like I really think that I had a mission and like it was just to figure this
Right.
body out. Thank
Like,
you
I
for
am
your
going to have
service.
sex. This is happening. I feel like that happens a
Yeah.
lot, you know, with like,
Yeah.
especially with women. Like, when we want to sleep with someone, like, it's probably going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real.
And like, yeah, he was being such a gentleman, but I'm like, okay, like let's go to fucking bed. Like let's
Yeah.
do this. Yeah. And so he had a waterbed and that was really interesting. Actually, my first and my worst were both in waterbeds.
Fucking
but
waterbeds. That's so 90s of you.
I know it was very wild. Yeah, and I just remember I remember like having to walk him through like, okay, like this is how you pick me up out of my chair.
Mm-hmm.
And like how positioning, like where do you want me to best support your body as you're like lifting, turning, setting, and the whole gist. I wasn't doing many manual transfers at that time. And so that was interesting. My caregiver was like, what if I take you? And then he like locks you in the basement and chains you to a radiator. And I'm like, girl, I'm a quad. That is extra. Like, and so unnecessary. I will call you if I need you. And so like meanwhile I am thinking like what's she doing like out in the car
If
right
you
now
don't hear
thinking,
from me by this time, please come a knockin'.
yes. Yeah, and I don't know, he laid me down and we kind of figured it out. It was very vanilla, very like
Mm-hmm.
we both felt like we were both first timers in that situation,
Right.
you know.
Which is why
And
that's so cool. You know, like there's something erotic and tender about it at the same time.
yeah, it was really sweet. And then like I did that and that was cool.
Did something change for you after that?
Yeah. I wanted more, but I didn't.
Yep. It's like
I
the
knew that
beast was awakened.
yes, like
Every
oh
fucking
bitch,
time.
here you are. Yes. But I knew that I wanted more than what he could offer. And
Mm-hmm.
I haven't always been the greatest. I guess I'm not like a monogamist, I don't think. But I started talking to someone else during that period of time and he also had a disability. He was in a chair and he had one like working leg, but the other one was paralyzed. And we had a lot of fun like figuring out each other's bodies. And that was cool to like have someone on the
Mhm.
same playing field of figuring out what works and what doesn't and what feels good and what you can't feel and how to work
Mhm.
around those. Like I love that game.
Yeah, that's so playful and, like, the exploration and the curiosity in that seem really expansive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your first? And how long were you
Um,
you said 5 years.
yeah, I was 5 years. I, um, I felt really disconnected from my body immediately. Like, I remember looking down at my body right after my injury, like, so I dove into, like, 3 feet of water in Lake Superior and naked with 3 of my guy friends in a fishing boat. And
Stop.
the captain jumped in and flipped me over. I thought I was gonna die because I just floated up face down. But he flipped me over, and then I told him, like, I can't feel anything, like, uh, immediately. And so they, like, as gently as they could, got me back into the fishing boat, which luckily was, like, just, like, a small aluminum fishing boat, so it only had, like, probably, like, maybe 2 feet between the water and getting into the boat. And I'm laying there naked, and I'm like, "Oh my god, like, I don't even know what I'm looking at anymore." Like, this is so like, I'm completely flat, but, like, barely peering my eyes down at my body, and I felt like I was, like, looking at, like, a slug or something. That was, like, the thought that came into my mind because I was like, "I'm looking at this wet, like, just, like, lifeless looking thing, and I have no attachment to it anymore. I don't understand it. I can't feel it." Like, I just felt, like, so confused looking at it, like, "Is that mine? Is that my body? What the fuck?"
Uh,
Um, and so, you go through this period of, like, um, really profound grief for I mean, it still goes on, but, like, I think the first 3 years were really overwhelming for me of, like, okay, my life used to be about dance and pleasure, and I loved pleasuring myself and having sex and, like, loved just so much about my physical being and being active and playing and improvising and just like making love was so fun and creative. Um and so you go through this period of just like, well, who the fuck, what's the fucking point now? Like that's really where I was at. Was like, what is the fucking point? Because I thought I was here to like move and feel. And I don't know
yeah.
how to do that anymore. And so it was like, all right, I guess I'm just gonna like ride this out for a while and grieve and survive and figure out how to like function as a human being in this new vessel. Um, and the whole time you're like, I know you're thinking like, at least for me, like, okay, still open for business, still there, but can't feel. So like, what the fuck do I do with this? And I was so curious, but like so scared. Finally, I got a vibrator, like maybe like a year and a half into it. And I
Wow.
I would like toy around with that, but like, like it was like I don't even know how to connect with like I could tell my body was responding, like I was getting AD. So like, blood pressure would go up. And then finally I had like what to me was like, okay, I'm physically having an orgasm right now.
Mm.
Where I felt like this huge shift in my body, but it wasn't like that euphoric, I am coming feeling.
Yeah.
And so that has been like the journey for me with self pleasure, just in terms of like, just speaking of self pleasure, is like, how can I explore more to create um, more pathways to pleasure so that this isn't just like this mechanical thing? Like, oh, I can make my body have an orgasm, but like, And it's cool, and it gets cooler the more you play with it, because you're like, you start to train your brain and like get like, oh, that's feels good. That feels good. That feels good. No, and you find pleasure in like certain things that you maybe didn't understand before.
Yeah.
Um, and then finally I was like, after like getting through this grief and this fear of sleeping with someone, I was like, I need to do this. Like, because there's such a big barrier, like there's this vulnerability layer where you're like, I have to trust someone enough now, because I'm not going to just be able to like hop on top of you and leave afterward.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
there's also this confidence factor. Like, now I don't know how to conjure that in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like, where did that? And so you have to like start to think about where your sense of prowess and like sexual confidence comes from and recreate it. And also like your own sense of like worthiness and sexiness, which I think are like separate things, like it's one thing to be like, I feel sexy and like I feel my own sensuality. It's another to be like, to then express that confidently and be like, yeah, let's go. Like,
Yeah.
and exude that to the world.
Totally.
Like, that's such a journey to like, actually reading Sonia Renee Taylor's book, The Body Is Not an Apology, was huge for me. And like this exercise and this like dedicated practice of radical self-love.
Yeah, that's been such an important seed, I feel like, because like as I explore the kink world, I can feel sexy as fuck when I put the outfit on. And like when I like put on that hat or whatever.
Right.
But then when it comes time to getting out of my chair and onto the furniture and like acting or playing the part, and I don't want to say that it's like a masking thing, but like stepping into that scene or the role or like whatever, I was always like a top. And I was like, get the fuck on the bed. Like, let me straddle you and have my way with you. And now, like, there is such a role reversal of how do I feel confident and sexy in my abilities or lack thereof? The ability to direct someone, like, it really is a practice with a lot of layers.
Yeah.
To move through.
And that makes me also think about like, how do I create that top energy in a physically like what looks like a submissive position? What is physically a submissive position? But you're like, no, I'm actually in charge here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that happens with a lot of intention and communication, and it's definitely possible. And it's also like, okay, maybe I can play between these two dominant and submissive things and see what happens there for me. Like what expansion is, which I know you've done and continue to do, and that's super fun too. I actually just bought a book, Urban Tantra. Haven't even cracked it open yet, but very excited about it.
Love her.
Stay tuned. Because so much of this is like, I think starting this podcast and so much of my journey is like really learning to lean into pleasure as this deeply spiritual practice, and part of like my whole existence. So like an exploration of my pleasure is so much more than just that, as we're learning. It's like, it's this deep self-love. It's this deep self-honoring and like reverence to life and acknowledgement of your humanness, no matter what that looks like.
Yes.
And I think that's what finally got me to the like point where I was like, or that's part of what I finally got me to the point of like, no, I'm gonna have sex. It's been 5 years. I was like going to stay with one of my good guy friends. I was like, okay, I trust him. We've done it before plenty of times. I know that we can hook up and I'm not gonna like, nobody's gonna expect anything afterward. You know, like
Yeah.
we're cool. We've always been like that. Like we just like, we're the homies who would fuck every once in a while and be like, love ya. See you
Yeah.
later.
Love those ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Like he's just so great. And so, God, it was just like, for me, it was like, okay, I'm finally past this, like the fear and the doubt of, is this going to be fun? Am I going to have a good time? Is he going to have a good time? Is this going to be fucking humiliating? Like all those questions finally became less important to me than saying yes to myself. You know, like I was finally just like, I am done with the like fear and the doubt getting in the way
Yeah.
of something that is so fucking huge to my existence and who I am and living in this fucking body. Like I'm gonna do this damn thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm not done. I'm not fucking done. And it was so awesome. I honestly felt like I was coming back to life.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
it was so fucking awesome. It was way better than like losing your virginity the first. You like, you know,
Ugh,
I hate that term.
right.
Like, but the first time we had sex, you know, when I was 16, prom night, like so fucking cliche. Like that was
love
fine.
that.
Whatever. I know. God.
Yeah.
My mom was like, I knew when you were wearing that purple dress, I knew that dress was just, you were going to have sex that night. I just knew it.
Oh, stop it, Mom.
I was like, yeah, that dress was fucking fire. And
Yeah. She was
baby girl
banging.
was on a mission.
Yes.
And she did the same thing. So it's like, maybe you
Yeah.
just were like, you knew because you knew. Because that's what you did.
Because that was you. Yeah. I know. Come
So
from
funny.
a long line of promiscuous women.
And I wonder if promiscuous, like, let's use, is that a, like, it almost seems like a demeaning word. Like, I think it is. Like, what's a better word, like, than promiscuous? Like, the, liberated? Sexually liberated?
Yeah,
I like
I think
that.
that's fine. But like, also how some people coin slut is a bad term. Like, rock that slutty era out and like,
Okay, so
let
we
it
can
live
use,
with you all your life.
right.
Like, I feel like it's whatever lens you're looking at it through. Promiscuous to me is like prowess, curious. Like, let me explore the fucking
yeah, it's like kind of
sensual
like beauty
side of
is the eye
shit.
of the beholder. But it also, I think, totally, I'm with you. Like reclaiming the word slut is huge and has been like a fun thing to do in the last few years.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I love seeing that. And the word promiscuous, I haven't seen flipped in that way. So we could do that. And also, like,
Okay.
I think it's important to use some language that's like, for the people who don't fucking get it, you know, that like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not just some like little promiscuous, like, oh, she's loose or whatever. Like, no, I like to have a good time. So fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as long as I'm not fucking
Here.
anybody's husband and I'm being safe, as long as, well, maybe she wants her husband to get fucked. I don't know.
was just going to say, if she wants the husband to be fucked, then that's fine.
Maybe she's into that.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, I think like it was so interesting. Like, I don't know if you felt this way, but I remember like I can bring myself back to that moment of like him entering me for the first time and feeling
Yeah.
like my whole body was like full of like ignited sparkles or something.
Oh my God, right? Like your
was like-
heart is melting.
It was like
and
I was like
just
a firework.
confetti.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my God, it was so awesome. I was just like, holy shit, I'm back. And
Yeah.
even though this is so different, this is still fantastic. This has
Yeah.
potential. This has mad potential.
Okay, so what was more orgasmic? the literal, like, just act that this was happening or the sex itself? Like, does that make sense? Like the
Yeah,
psychological feat or the physiological?
oh my God, I think there's so many layers, you know? It's like you're finally like skin to skin with someone, like having a man on top of me. I was just like, ugh, like your like
God.
smell and your skin and your breath and like kissing and just being touched. And at the same time, like feeling him, like feeling his weight on top of me and feeling like his body thrusting and it moving my body was just like, yes.
Delish. Yeah.
So fucking delicious, you know, like
Yeah.
after 5 years of not doing that, come on. Like
Yeah.
that was like, I'm so happy right now.
I am so satisfied.
I'm
Yeah.
so into this right now. And plus we were listening to the Her album, her like first album, I think it's called Focus. Which is just so fucking sexy. So it was just like this like really immersive experience. But yeah, I think it's like also like this recognition that like I had the courage to step into this again. You
Yeah.
know, like way to go, self. Like you pushed past the fear and the doubt and you got through all of this pain and this bullshit and some really scary shit and made it to
Yeah.
this beautiful moment. Like,
Yeah.
let's just relish in that for a second.
Totally.
Because so much of it was so hard and scary and painful for so
Yeah.
long
And so lonely.
and so
Like,
lonely.
yeah.
Living in a
Yeah.
body that doesn't feel is so isolating and lonely sometimes.
Yeah. And there is such a visceral separation. Like, and then you add the separation of the chair and the barrier and the inability to reach something or
Yeah.
advance in a way.
Yeah.
And then to be met by someone who wants to be close to you and wants to gift you that experience of exploration and touch and all of it. So
And
good.
then is also like to see him satisfied and have like that was also such a
That was the
beautiful
best.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like to feel that I don't know I don't even know the words for that. Just to like witness that, to share in that with someone was like, okay, still alive, still here, still got it.
And it gives you this total like reset in ability or like the like limiting belief that like you're limited in your capabilities. Like,
yeah, it's yes, totally.
yeah.
It's squashing some internalized ableism in the moment.
Yes.
100%.
And to have that partner's reaction to be as explosive and like as like holy fuck.
Yeah.
Like that is so validating.
It's very validating. It's very reaffirming. It's like, okay, I'm still capable of pleasure and I'm still capable of giving so much pleasure, even if that looks different than this normative thing I've been taught my whole life, or that I'm continuously being taught is more worthy or better or the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, like, no, there's still so much here to play with. It's like and that's why I'm like so into exploring Tantra too, because it's limitless. Like you can just keep exploring and exploring and exploring because we're humans and we're all so different and we're always changing. So what a fun way to like lean in to that truth that like this is change, this experience is change over and over and over again. It's the one thing we can count on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. God, good question. or good like little addition there that like you are in the moment squashing these harmful narratives that you have embodied a lot of the time.
Yeah. And for me, at least in the last, like, I'll say 5 years. So in my like post-liberated sexual woman and like embodied phase, in my most recent sexual encounters, it's almost like I'm meeting and sleeping with my most divine self. Like the goddess in me is totally there. And like she is helping me. She's like a third party to the show. And like, granted, my last few experiences, like I did have an extremely deep, soulful connection with one, but he was lacking like the physical connection. But and then another one was just like, I used this word and a friend got really offended, but I feel like a resource or like a guide or a tool to like help me achieve this thing. Love you. Don't mean that I'm using you, because this experience is shared, and like I do think that this is great.
You're just a tool. You're literally
just a tool. I know, but some inventions of tools have like changed the world, and so I don't mean it as like a bad thing, right? But like,
right, you're still
each
sharing
connection that we
something
share
with someone,
which is so important,
and honoring their needs in the moment. It's not like you're just like, I'm gonna get mine. Bye.
Yes,
that's a totally different
abso-fucking-lutely.
scenario.
No,
You just know that
and
like, okay, this is great for what it was. This is what I can take away from
exactly.
this. We shared
Yes.
something. I gave you this. You gave me this. Awesome. Maybe not going to do
It
that
was
again.
beautiful.
Though.
Like, let's end it on a high note, and
yeah, that's totally
like,
legit.
not continue giving to something that isn't going to like be fruitful in the end.
Right. Or you're just like not interested.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
Either one. I really have to pee. I'm going to do it while we're podcasting because no one can see. This is what happens, guys.
I know. I know. I literally peed right before this. God, can we actually talk about that? I've been entering this new era of my life. Okay. So girls in the bathroom, like that was always my favorite. Like my favorite pastimes with my girls are like on the kitchen floor late at night, in the bathrooms where we're having like breakthrough conversations, or in the car. And then like sometimes on a boat. But
sometimes on a boat.
Or in a forest. I don't know.
I like late night in bed, like sleepover with the lights off. I feel like you can talk about anything with the lights off.
Okay. Love that too. God, I love that too. And I miss that because I cath in the middle of the night.
Yeah, me too.
I have to be turned by another person, which you don't. Do you turn yourself at night?
No, I have a bedside table that I pull my supplies from, and I cath like right on the edge of the bed. So the bottle rests on the edge of the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So have you ever had like pressure sores or anything from not turning, or you just have like a bomb?
No, I lay
mattress?
Flat. If I lay flat and I have my heels floating with a pillow under my calves so my heels aren't there's no pressure on against the mattress the whole night, I'm golden. I've not had any issues.
Wow.
My body might be a little like sore. Bless you.
Yeah.
Oh, bless your pee picking heart. You lucky fucking cunt is what that means.
It's factual. I mean, like, I literally, that is another thing. Like, I want to have, my girlfriends have recently said, like, why don't we just have a slumber party? And I'm like, because I feel like an inconvenience in a slumber party. Like, I don't want y'all to lose sleep because of the care that I need. And like, I don't want to go without my care to provide good sleep for you. And so I've had one friend stay the night and she was totally cool with it. but those are my thoughts, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm finding myself within these circles of women who like really want to like help me on that mission. Like
Yeah.
they want to be cuddling on the couch with me even when I'm in my chair. Like they'll have their feet draped over my lap or like come up behind me and
I
drape over
love
me.
that.
I
I love when people
know.
take the initiative to touch you. Even if because there's
Yes.
like this level of closeness and courage and like intimacy between you where you like, oh, I know that I can like either just ask you if I can put your legs on me, or like my nephew will always like prop his feet up on my footrest or like on
Yes.
my wheel. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's so cute. I love that, you
I
know?
love it. I know, right?
Or my niece will like
Yeah.
lean into my chair to hug me, like lean on my
Yeah.
armrest, or my brother will like lean on my armrest,
Mm-hmm.
to be closer.
Yeah.
I think that so you touched something that was talking about with a friend recently, and this has come up with Gabe too. He wrote this poem called I Wish You Could Come With Me that was inspired by a conversation we had about
Uh,
not getting invited and the importance
yeah.
of getting a fucking invitation. Like I think we're so quick as a culture or just as human beings to like we make assumptions and then we tell ourselves stories about why this person can't come or why they don't want to come or why this is going to be too hard or this is going to be too hard or blah blah blah, and then we don't even include the person, we don't even ask them.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to get invited to go to on a boat ride because there's going to be assumptions that like I can't or it's going to be
Yeah.
too hard or how are we going to do this or how are we going to do that, and it's like there's so many other one of my friends was telling me they're autistic and they have sound sensitivities and they never get invited to
Mm.
concerts. And they were like,
Ah,
well, I would at least like the invitation to make the choice. Like maybe I do want to go with you, but maybe I'm
yeah.
just going to have to step out from time to time and you're going to have to be okay with that. And it's not going to have to be weird. You don't have to feel some fucking way about it. You don't have to take care of me. There's so many layers to like we could communicate about what it could look like to share time together rather than you just
Totally.
making assumptions and just not even asking.
Yeah.
Like there is
Yeah.
usually a way to meet each other in the middle and share something, have a connection and have some fun and some joy and learn and grow together even. That could be so beautiful and awesome. But when people just immediately cut it off because of fear and judgment and assumptions, it's like, damn, you're really shortchanging everyone in this situation.
You're missing out too, like on potential like explosive experiences. Yeah.
She was
Um,
like, I could at least at the very least, go to dinner with you guys. Like, maybe you guys are going to dinner before the show. Maybe I'd
yeah.
want to do that. And then, like, not, maybe I would just go to like, there's just so many scenarios where you could include someone rather than just being like, I don't see how that's going to work. Nope.
It's not gonna
Like,
work.
let's be
Yeah.
more imaginative. We're better than this. What happened to our
Yeah.
fucking imagination?
Or invite that person who is probably more resourced in moving through the shit that they have to navigate
Yeah.
to problem solve with you.
They
Like,
might know a thing or two about exactly. Like, why are we discrediting these people who like know their bodies and their life experience and can probably find a way together?
to figure it out. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, and I think a
Yeah.
lot of people just like default to, I don't want to be inconvenienced. And it's just like, okay,
But
that's a
that
whole other
leads
thing.
to the thought of, I don't want to be an inconvenience. And
Yes.
that is limiting as fuck.
Yep.
Like, that's not okay.
It's not, and it happens all the time. And it's why so many of us with disabilities or so many people, especially marginalized people, end up feeling less than human.
Yeah. Or like they become extremely outspoken and advocate and like get loud about the thing. And thank God for those people. But also the shade that's thrown at that noise, quote unquote, is like, you're a bitch. Like, where's the rage coming from? Like, don't.
Why are
create
y'all
a
so
fuss.
angry? It's like, because
Yeah.
we're disrespected and dehumanized. Because we deserve better. Because we're
And
out
we
over
lack
here.
human touch. Yeah.
Yeah, you're putting us over here, and we could be here together. What the fuck?
Yeah. What the fuck?
What are you so afraid of?
Yeah. I'll give you my quadriplegic cooties.
Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, that's when we're put in positions to be teachers, and sometimes we have the energy for it and sometimes we don't. I had a family member recently. Love them. You're the best. If you listen to this episode, we're good. But they were like, I would love to talk about, like ableism and how it still is like a problem. I'd love to sit down and talk about it as a family. And I was like, you know what? I really don't want to do that. Like, that sounds really potentially uncomfortable and harmful for me because I don't want the pushback from you guys because of our internal family dynamics and old shit, that's inevitably going to come up, that I'm going to have to then push against harder to convince you of why this is ableism. And like, you are now in a position where it's your turn. And I even went so far as to be like, which I didn't have to do, but I was like, here are some articles to learn about why that emotional labor is not something I'm willing to take on right now. And it's
Good
not
for
and it's not my
you.
job. And why I appreciate this question, but here's why it's also like, no, hard pass.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to put me in a position to be hurt even more. And they heard it. And I was like, cool, I hope you learn something. Like, it's your job. And I'm not here to educate you. That's just, like, you have no idea how much that takes for me to do that.
Yeah.
Coming from an outside source, you're going to hear that much more than you're going to hear that from someone you have a deep relationship with, and someone who in your mind is probably still you see as this able-bodied little older sister, little sister, whatever tropes or narratives you have on me, maybe I'm entitled, maybe I'm whatever, like, I'm not going to push up against all that shit.
No, God, that's a battle.
Yeah.
Even if it's one directed with love, like, that doesn't sound like an appetizing conversation.
No, but I do appreciate reaching out and wanting to be better, like, that in and of itself means a lot. Like, okay, you're recognizing that a certain circumstance was hurtful or excluded me. Like, that's a positive fucking step right there. Thank you for noticing that and wanting to take accountability. And now I can tell you how you can take full accountability, because I'm not holding a grudge over here, but I'm hoping it will be better next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I think there's like these ways where we can show compassion and create connection and also honor ourselves. Like, have the conversations, set the boundaries, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving towards a new world and a new human, one conversation at a time.
Yeah. Amen. Yeah. I back to this whole conversation on stepping into new ground, such as like having sex for the first time after, what for us was acquiring a disability. But there's so many ways that we get like disconnected from our sexuality. Um, like I have friends that did not want to have sex after giving birth or for a long time, like
Yeah.
did not feel sexy anymore. I mean, there's so many scenarios like where your body changes, like maybe you're not as quick to come, maybe you're not as quick to get an erection, maybe you've endured some sort of trauma and it's fucking scary to reintroduce yourself to your body or pleasure. Like who
Girl.
knows, like that shit is
Yeah.
so powerful and real. And so it's like, okay, what does this reintegration look like where I can like radically love myself and give myself time and space and curiosity at the same time to like
Totally.
greet that part of myself again,
Yeah.
with patience and compassion. Yeah.
I think that's like a huge word is patience. And like for me, I mean, reopening my traumas lately has left me I feel very vulnerable and unsafe to even explore my body at times. And because there's even this level of mistrust within my body because I can't feel it. And then there's this question of, oh, like, did I just feel that? Or like, am I like making that up? Or like, I think I feel you on my leg, but if I'm wrong, then that's also proof of my like inability to sense. And that registers something within me of like, it's a block. So I honestly, I would say the last month at least, maybe 2 months, have really had to slow down.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, what do you do when you reach a block? Like, what does that look like for you? So that you're like gently with authenticity moving through it. And I'm sure it's different, of course, time
It's
to time.
totally different. I mean, it is a process and allowing myself grace along that process and to take the time that I need. Because, like, when we first started this podcast almost a year ago, which is crazy,
Whoop whoop.
I mean, I was like, penetration, vibration, I want to fucking feel all the things. And then, like, this spring really opened up the dam of my past assault and like family trauma and trauma with the masculine and I'm feeling my body differently, which is like feeling totally alive. And I've had to straight up go back to basics. Like there are nights that I'm mantraing to myself like I am safe, I have everything I need, like my body has breath, I'm safe in this body. Like whatever I have to say to myself to convince myself that I am safe when I'm not feeling it is helpful. And to know that I'm supported, whether that's by my chair or a bed or an outside like human offering me some sort of something, that is helpful. And then I've just been really slowly introducing touch back in. And mirror work was a great bridge for that because I can see myself and I can tell myself I am safe. And I can look at myself and like see that and sense that. And then when I introduce touch, it's a little less scary.
Like self-touch, you mean?
Yeah, but it's not even, I mean, I'm like earlier in this conversation, I totally remember the first time that I like reached down and tried to like self-pleasure with my hand.
Yeah, I don't mean
Post-paralysis.
self-pleasure. I just mean self-touch. Like not
Self-touch.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Like versus
arm,
someone else
face.
touching you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
that's really powerful too, I would think. Like moving or doing self-touch and saying I'm safe.
And breathing through that.
Yeah.
I have found lately when I'm feeling contracted or vulnerable or unsafe that I am very restricted and I hold my breath and allowing myself to open and breathe has been just a reminder of my humanness and that shit happens and it's okay to experience pain and fear and wrongness.
And that this is not the only story here. This is not my only story. This is not my main. This is not the main show. This doesn't get to like run the show.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
but it's hard.
We get to write it every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I feel this future energy, like there's a partner out there somewhere for me, for you, for everyone. And like, I feel like, I mean, nothing clicked like it did for me more than motherhood. Like becoming a mom, birthing this child, and like bringing this life into this world, like gave me a different perspective of the other, I guess. And like the level of love that exists between my son and I is so super special. And I desire that from another human. Like, and where I'm at with defining my boundaries and like recalibrating what a safe foundation feels like, I feel like is like leveling up a magnetism for the safe person who will help in that validation of that. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing all that. I'm glad that this space feels like safe enough to do that and know that it is. And I also, it made me think about just talking more about conversations of like trauma and healing in the future with other people and what their experiences are like. And also like your birth story. Like we haven't talked about that yet. So I'm also looking forward to that like conversation of like being pregnant as a quad and having a baby. So
baby,
let's just drop that out there. Looking forward to that. Yeah, guys, I love having I think this has been a really fun conversation on just like potential for healing when we're able to like move through with that grace, the fear and the doubt and believe in possibility and be curious and do it in a way that's like listening to our yeses and our nos. And you know, there's a lot of nuance there, but it is so possible. What else you got, Kate? You want to take us out?
I love you. I love this space.
I love you too.
All the opportunities this has created for growth, expansion, and like a deeper dive into what the fuck we are and who we're doing. I said that backwards, but it made sense. Yeah.
Who are you doing?
What we are and who we're doing.
Yeah. Do the thing that makes you feel alive. Why the fuck not? You know?
God,
fucking send it.
Go live and like feel this fucking life.
Yeah. That's what we're here for. Even if your experience feeling is different, like there's still something there.
Totally. And if two chicks who can't feel 2/3 of their body can feel this deeply and this like sexually, like, come on. There's so much more.
I'm so excited about the more.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's on. It's on like Donkey Kong.
All right, babe.
Till next time.
Yeah.
Keep rebelling. Love yas.
Bye.